Hello, this is a video on two different methods to get out of the loop where Windows 10 is asking you, or possibly Windows 11 is asking you to search for an app in the App Store and saying you need to install an app for this task. Would you like to search for one in the store? No matter whether you click on yes or no, you still can't sign in. It may also be twinned with a message which says something happened and your PIN isn't available. Click here to set your PIN again, and then a button that says set up my PIN. But also I've seen it before where you're just at the sign in screen with your username, you click on sign in and it comes up with the box saying do you want to search for an app in the App Store, without even asking you for your password. It just pops up that box. Yes or no does absolutely nothing, and basically none of the other things on the screen will let you get into Windows. All you can really do is reboot. To quickly cut to the chase, what's happening is Windows is stuck in safe mode, most likely, which then means that it can't go to the internet to bring up the logon screen for the Microsoft account. If you have a non-Microsoft account on the computer, that will let you in and you can do stuff on the computer. So here goes on how to get around this problem. You will need a Windows install disk or a Windows install USB, and you need to reboot and start the computer using that install USB or install stick or DVD. On a modern computer, you might need to hold down Shift while pressing Restart and then select the option to boot off of another device. This one's using BIOS mode, where I can just press F12 to boot off of a different device. Here comes the Windows install. When you're in the Windows install front screen, you need to hold down Shift and tap the F10 key on the keyboard. That will bring up command prompt. You then want to type in BCD edit, all one word, and then spacebar, / delete value with no space, then a curly bracket, which is that one, not the square bracket and not the smooth curved bracket. Default, and then close curly brackets, another space, and then safe boot with no space between safe and boot. Press enter. You're now done. Just click on the X in the top right to close command prompt, click on the X to close the Windows setup, and the computer will reboot. I've left the USB or install disk in, so it will ask me whether I want to boot from CD. I'm not going to press any key, so that's going to start normal and load Windows rather than the setup. And we're back at the login screen. So previously when you clicked on sign in, it then asked whether you wanted to install an app from the App Store, but now because we've forced the machine not to go back into safe mode, it's able to bring up the Microsoft account sign in screen over the internet, and you're now able to sign into the computer using your password. If that's already been helpful to you, it would be really helpful to me if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my YouTube channel. You don't need to have the video notifications switched on, but the subscriber numbers really do help. Thanks. And I'm now going to move on to the second and more complicated way of getting around this problem. This might be useful if for some reason the Microsoft user account is broken, or you don't know the Microsoft user account password, so you can't get in even if you do get out of safe mode. So I've simulated the broken account again, where I've got the sign in button, and no matter what I click on sign in, it will then say, do you want to search for an app in the App Store? It doesn't matter whether I click on yes or no, it's just stuck in the loop. So I'm going to restart. Once again, I've got the Windows install DVD or memory stick plugged in, and I'm going to tell the computer to boot from that memory stick or that DVD. I'm going to press any key so it does boot from the DVD, and wait a few seconds for the Windows setup to appear. Once again, you need to do Shift and F10 on the keyboard to bring up the command prompt, and now I need to search for my Windows directory. So I'm going to do C drive, but that's blank. I'm going to do D drive, and that does have my Windows folder in it. So CD into Windows, CD into System32. Then I want to take a backup of a program called utilman.exe. So I'm going to move that utilman.exe to .exe.back as a backup file. I'm then going to put command prompt, so copy cmd.exe, into where utilman.exe used to be, and exit command prompt and exit Windows setup. So computer's going to reboot. Once again, it's going to ask if I want to boot from DVD. I'm not going to press anything this time because I want to go back into Windows. What we've done is replaced the accessibility tools in the bottom right of the login screen with command prompt. So when we're at the login screen, which we're stuck at and we can't go any further, if you go down in the bottom right and click on the accessibility tools icon, which is to the left of the power button, or just demonstrating here that we're still stuck in that loop. Now we want to add a new user account. So we do net space user space, and then I'm going to call my one temp admin and then /add. At this point I made a mistake, so I'm going to cut that bit out of the video. You then want to make that user an administrator. So you do net space local group space administrators space and then the username that you've used and then /add. We need to reboot the computer once more. And because I've still got the Windows install stick or memory DVD in it, it's going to ask if I want to boot from CD, and we're not going to press anything because I want to go back into Windows as normal. And Windows has decided automatically to log in as the new account that I created, that temp admin account. Because it had no password, Windows just booted up and was like, oh, okay, let's sign in automatically. Because it's the first time that account's been signed into, Windows will do this initial setup waste of time, and we just have to sit and wait. And what you can see in the top right and bottom right, left, etc. is safe mode. So that was the problem all along, is we're stuck in safe mode, so you can't sign into the Microsoft account that was on the computer. If the logon screen came up with a safe mode banner, that would be helpful because you can tell that's what the problem is, but it doesn't. Only when you get to the desktop can you tell. So you can't click on start in the bottom left as normal because you're in safe mode. You need to right click on the start menu, go to run, type in msconfig and then press on OK. Go to the boot tab along the top of the system configuration screen and untick safe boot and then click on OK. And now you can restart the computer. Once again, it will ask me if I want to go into setup because I've still got the DVD in there. Just going to ignore that and not press any key. Windows will start as normal, and it will again automatically log into the temporary admin account, which I'd already added in that earlier step. It's going to ask me a load of questions. Now I'm not in safe mode. It's going to answer no to all of those because I don't really want any of the Microsoft tracking and other junk that it gives you. And we should be at the normal desktop. We can switch over now to our account which we couldn't get into. So I'm going to log out of the temp admin account. Select the Microsoft account, my normal account, sign in. And this time, instead of asking me whether I need to install an app from the App Store, it will come up with the Microsoft account sign-in screen. I'm going to type in the password and click on sign in. I don't want to create a PIN, so I'm just going to close that. And there we are. That has fixed your Windows sign-in problem where you're stuck at that loop. What you probably will want to do is remove the temporary admin account. So click on Start, type in Run, and in the Run box, type in Control and then spacebar, user passwords and then the number 2 with no spaces. Highlight the temp admin account, click on Remove, and click Yes. And now you can click on OK. You're back to your computer as normal. Enjoy using it. As with before, if this video has been helpful to you, it would be really helpful to me if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my YouTube channel. You don't need to have the video notifications switched on, but the subscriber numbers really do help. Thank you very much.